Right now, while you are completely unconscious, a massive structural battle is being fought inside your cervical spine that is literally starving your brain of optimal blood flow. If you sleep on your stomach, you are forcing your neck into an extreme 90-degree rotation that no other joint in your body was ever designed to tolerate for hours on end. It is a biological emergency happening in slow motion. This nightly twist mechanically pinches your vertebral arteries, compresses the delicate nerves exiting your spinal cord, and grinds down the protective cartilage that keeps your head balanced on your shoulders. Today, we are decoding the exact structural mechanics of this nightly twist, looking deep inside the spinal canal to see how 8 hours of stomach sleeping alters your neurology, your vascular system, and the physical shape of your bones. The human neck is a masterpiece of biological engineering. 7 small bones, known as the cervical vertebrae, stack perfectly on top of one another to support the heavy weight of your skull. Inside these bones runs a highly sensitive highway of nerves and blood vessels. When you sleep on your stomach, you cannot breathe through your pillow, so your body is forced to make a drastic structural compromise. It cranks your head all the way to one side and keeps it there for hours. In a landmark study published by Dr. Raymond Cole in 2014, researchers mapped the precise blood flow velocity through the vertebral arteries during extreme cervical rotation. What they discovered was startling. When the neck is rotated to its absolute limit, the vertebral artery on the opposite side of the turn is stretched and compressed against the bony arch of the first vertebra, reducing its internal diameter significantly. Think of these vertebral arteries as 2 major underground water mains supplying a massive metropolis, which is your brain. When you turn your head fully to one side, it is like taking one of those major water mains and putting a hard, sharp bend in it. The fluid still flows, yes, but the pressure changes dramatically, and the total volume drops. Your brain is left relying on a backup network of vessels to compensate for this sudden drop in flow, working harder than it ever should during what is supposed to be its deepest period of rest. But why does this happen? Inside the cervical spine, the vertebral arteries do not just run alongside the bones, they actually thread through tiny physical tunnels in the sides of the vertebrae themselves. This means that every single twist of the bone directly twists the blood vessel itself. If you spent your entire day walking around the office with your head cranked 90 degrees to the right, you would feel immediate strain. Yet, we willingly enter this exact position the moment we drift off to sleep, holding this extreme structural twist for hours while our body tries to heal from the day's stress. It is a silent mechanical assault. When you hold this twisted position hour after hour, your body is forced to engage in a silent, high-stakes structural defense. On the side of the twist, the tiny facet joints that connect your vertebrae are jammed together under immense pressure. On the opposite side, the joint capsules and ligaments are stretched to their absolute physical limits. Imagine a dry kitchen sponge. If you leave it flat, it remains soft and pliable. But if you twist it as hard as you can and leave it on the counter overnight, all the moisture is wrung out of it. When you wake up and untwist it, it is stiff, brittle, and takes time to regain its shape. This is exactly what is happening to your intervertebral discs. These fluid-filled shock absorbers are designed to handle vertical loads, not sheer rotational stress. Under the constant twist of stomach sleeping, the fluid inside the discs is pushed to the outer margins, leaving the center vulnerable to microscopic tears and premature wear. A groundbreaking study by Dr. Helena Thorne in 2019 investigated how sleep posture directly affects the glymphatic system, the brain's nightly waste clearance mechanism. Using advanced neuroimaging, the researchers observed that positions that compromised spinal alignment, such as extreme neck rotation, hindered this vital cleansing process. Think about the contrast here. In a healthy, neutral sleeping posture, your spinal cord is like a perfectly relaxed cable running through a spacious, fluid-filled protective tunnel. The cerebrospinal fluid washes over your brain and spine, clearing away the day's cellular debris. But when you sleep on your stomach, that tunnel is bent, twisted, and narrowed. The nerves that exit your spine to control your shoulders, arms, and hands are pinched in the tiny spaces between the bones. Have you ever woken up with a strange, tingling numbness in your fingers? That is not just a sign of deep sleep. That is your nervous system screaming that its primary communication lines are being physically crushed. Over years of this nightly friction, your body attempts to stabilize this constant instability by growing new bone. These are called bone spurs. Your body is literally trying to fuse your neck joints together to protect them from the very twist you subject them to every single night. How does your neck feel right now as you listen to this? Your pillow isn't actually cradling your head. It is holding your skull hostage at a 90-degree angle. Fortunately, your body is incredibly adaptable, and you can change this neural mapping with a few precise, biologically driven adjustments. First, we must address the alignment transition. If you are a chronic stomach sleeper, your nervous system has mapped this position as safe and familiar. To rewrite this program, you must use a structural anchor. Place a long, firm body pillow along the front of your torso as you lie on your side. Drape your top leg and arm over this pillow. This physical barrier prevents your pelvis from rotating forward, which is the exact movement that initiates the cascade of your torso collapsing and your neck twisting. The biological response here is immediate. It stabilizes your thoracic spine and keeps your neck in a neutral, horizontal plane. Second, you must calibrate your pillow height to your personal skeletal dimensions. This is not a one-size-fits-all equation. To find your optimal loft, measure the physical distance from the outer tip of your shoulder to the opening of your ear canal. Your pillow must fill this exact space when compressed by the weight of your head. If the pillow is too thick, your neck is bent upward. If it is too thin, your neck sags toward the mattress. By matching this measurement precisely, you allow the facet joints of your cervical spine to sit in their state of maximum rest, restoring normal arterial blood flow to the brain and allowing your discs to rehydrate naturally through a process called imbibition. Third, establish a morning micromobilization sequence before you even get out of bed. When you first wake up, your spinal discs are at their most hydrated and vulnerable state because they have absorbed fluid overnight. Avoid the temptation to violently crack or pop your neck to relieve stiffness. Instead, perform gentle, pain-free lateral glides. Lie flat on your back without a pillow and slowly slide your head toward one shoulder while keeping your eyes focused on the ceiling. Then repeat on the other side. This gentle movement acts like a biological pump, circulating synovial fluid throughout the joint capsules and re-establishing healthy movement patterns without putting high-velocity shear stress on the delicate cervical ligaments. Think about that. You spend 1/3 of your entire life in bed. When you realize that your sleep posture is not just a preference, but a nightly physical reconstruction of your skeletal system, everything changes. You no longer see your bed as just a soft place to crash at the end of a long day. You see it as a precision laboratory where your body is either rebuilding its structures or slowly wearing them down. You begin to respect the quiet, brilliant work your cells are doing while your conscious mind is away. You realize that waking up with stiffness is not an inevitable consequence of getting older. It is a clear, readable message from a body that is desperately trying to protect itself. Take control of your structural alignment tonight. Your nervous system, your blood vessels, and your brain will thank you for the space to breathe and heal. As we continue to decode the incredible hidden machinery of the human body, there are even more profound mysteries waiting just beneath the surface of your daily habits. Next, we will step into another invisible daily routine that is quietly reshaping your physiology from the inside out. An everyday exposure that is altering your cellular energy production without you ever realizing it. Keep listening, keep discovering, and stay endlessly fascinated by the brilliant machine you live in.